Hello and welcome to Asiavision Annual Awards 2021. I'm Amit Namza and delighted I am to be back presenting the best of Asiavision. This is the second year we are going online and I'd like to welcome our production partners, Movie Maldives. This year's awards are the final event of Asiavision's News Group series and celebrate the best of 2020-2021 series. The COVID-19 crisis have hit the newsrooms even harder this year, and we hope these awards bring new hope and celebrations as we are hopeful that this is going to be the very final phase of the pandemic. To kick things off, let me welcome ABU's Director of News, Wendy Everett, coming in from Melbourne.
Hello, welcome to the annual celebration that showcases and recognises the outstanding work that Asiavision members contribute every year. As Namza said, it's the second year we've had to hold the awards online. We're especially grateful to all the Asiavision members who contributed more than 17,000 items this year in the most difficult of conditions. Thank you to our esteemed reporters, editors, camera operators, and all who battled the pandemic in the service of their audience. Although we're virtual, I'm glad to see you're watching online and look forward to hearing from you as our winners are announced. Despite the conditions, this year's awards attracted many more entries and especially better quality journalism overall. It was a tough task for the jury. Some categories were so competitive, they recognised more than the usual 5 nominees. Let me acknowledge one member who left us this year. MCOT Thailand, a founding member of Asiavision, has always been consistent in their uploads and the quality of journalism they contributed to the exchange. We hope to welcome MCOT back to the Asiavision family again as members recover from the financial issues of the pandemic. Let me end by congratulating all members for another excellent year of the Asiavision News Exchange, and especially the nominees and winners of the Asiavision Annual Awards 2021. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Wendy. We'd start with one of the most competitive categories, Outstanding Visuals for a New Story. There was some breathtaking footage despite the challenging conditions our members faced throughout the year. The nominees for Outstanding Visuals for a New Story are
Outstanding Visuals for a News Story. Hokkaido Glacier River, NHK, Japan. Unique Escort Market, VTV, Vietnam. National Nadam Festival, TV5, Mongolia. Yoma Tay Lockdown, TVB, Hong Kong. Children Hunt for Baby Frogs, PNN, Cambodia.
Although it was difficult to separate the top 2, the superb shots that told the story of Hokkaido Glacier River win NHK Japan the award for Outstanding Visuals for a New Story.
I'm so happy. お兄ちゃんよかったね。
よかった。Thank you so much.
Congratulations. So, ベニちゃん何かコメント?
It's such an honor. Yeah, because since the COVID happened, it's really difficult to go outside and go abroad. So I thought it would be great to show our beautiful view of Hokkaido.
Yes.
平賀さん。
私? Okay. In addition to the main news that we are always offering, but sometimes we offer any topic items, especially like Hokkaido, Mount Fuji, or sometimes animals. and it's really glad that we could offer the good item this time. And also, I'm so happy that we could receive the award for this as well. Thank you.
Congratulations, NHK. Up next, Outstanding Reporting from the Pacific. This category was introduced last year to encourage more participation and an active presence from Asiavision's Pacific members. The nominations cover a wide range from celebrations to somber moments, along with the harsh reality of the pandemic and natural disasters. Here are the news stories nominated for Outstanding Reporting from the Pacific.
Outstanding Reporting from the Pacific. 112 Independence Day Celebrations, VBTC 112. Cyclone News Coverage, Fiji TV, Fiji. Former Prime Minister Sir Michael Somare's death, EMTV, Papua New Guinea. COVID-19 coverage, FBC, Fiji.
And the worthy winner of Outstanding Reporting from the Pacific, EMTV, Papua New Guinea, for the extensive and skilled coverage of the death of former Prime Minister Sir Michael Somare.
I'll go first. I'm Cynthia Dimara. I'm head of news and current affairs. Also on this Paul Vunitungaranga is head of productions and was in charge of our live broadcast of the Grand Chiefs Sir Michael Somare's coverage of live coverage. Bradley Valenaki, a journalist and co-host on the program, and Lucy Kopana, who is our journalist who was on the ground at the burial site. So for us, thank you. I want to say thank you to Asiavision for the award. Also, to say that it was a sad occasion for the country, but it was historical as well for us. We were not part, or most of us did not witness the birth of a nation in 1975, which our founding father led, and but we witnessed history on his passing. So we wanted to give it our best in our coverage for both news and our live coverage. So we planned and we executed. So I want to say thank you to all the staff who were part of this broadcast, and also to the other broadcasters who were part of the entire broadcast that we did, and also to the Prime Minister James Marape and his staff for allowing us to be able to give our first Prime Minister a fitting send-off. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Asiavision, for recognizing our efforts. Our broadcast was not only, we broadcasted a historical moment for Papua New Guinea, but it was also a historical moment for broadcasting and television in Papua New Guinea. I just want to say thank you to everyone that had a hand in our broadcast, including the other two broadcasters and all the staff of MTV for their hard work and their dedication during the special coverage during a couple of days. We also want to thank the Prime Minister's media department for entrusting us and for allowing us to broadcast the occasion, the late Grand Chief's funeral. But thank you, Asiavision, for recognizing our efforts.
With more and more members reporting on events outside their home country A new category this year celebrates the excellence of their efforts, outstanding international coverage. These contributions give Asiavision the edge in covering global headline-making news or getting access to otherwise inaccessible locations. With the introduction of this new category, we hope other members with resources will contribute more of these great stories. A surprising number of quality news stories from around the world made the shortlist, and these are the nominations for Outstanding International Coverage.
Outstanding international coverage. Coverage of the Myanmar military coup, NHK, Japan. Coverage of the death of George Floyd and the global reaction, IRIB, Iran. Coverage of COVID-19 vaccine distribution efforts worldwide, CCTV, China. Coverage of the Hong Kong democracy movement, NHK, Japan. Coverage of Israeli-Palestinian conflict, IRIB, Iran.
The jury was unanimous in voting IRIB Iran's coverage of the death of George Floyd as the inaugural winner of the award for outstanding international coverage.
It was in May last year when 46-year-old African-American George Floyd was died with the hands of the white police officer after kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes during an arrest. This sparked an international condemnation and mass protests not in the US but around the world. IRIB tried its best to cover this mass protest with the hardworking teams, correspondents around the world in the US, Europe, and Asia. IRIB highly appreciates Asiavision for recognizing the significance of this coverage of mass protests and nominating it for Asiavision Annual Awards. Thank you again.
Congratulations, IRIB. Now to outstanding reporting on climate change and adaptation. It was great to see a good variety in this category as the region comprises of some of the biggest players in terms of policy making, as well as some of the most vulnerable states. We introduced this award last year to encourage more diverse stories on climate change, because skilled journalism is the best tool to shed light on issues that are often neglected. The jury was looking for newsworthiness and community or national impact, and whether the story investigated or uncovered an important climate issue that might be neglected or covered elsewhere. Another aspect was whether the story created awareness among viewers and whether it helped clarify complex climate issues through the quality of the argument, analysis, and information. Of course, the quality of the script and the accompanying visuals were part of the equation as well. These Asiavision news stories were the nominees for outstanding reporting on climate change and adaptation.
Outstanding reporting on climate change and adaptation. All material given new life is bags, VTV, Vietnam. Efforts to protect Shivha Lake, KBS, Korea. Bumpy road to achieving zero carbon emission, KBS, Korea. Decline in biodiversity in Singapore, CNA, Singapore. Outdoor Turtle Classroom, RTM, Malaysia.
The award for outstanding reporting on climate change and adaptation goes to Channel News Asia for their report on declining biodiversity in Singapore.
Well, I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of CNA and my team. This story really would not have been possible without the efforts of my camera crew and my video editor who helped to bring the story to life. The story is really talking about the threats of climate change and loss of biodiversity, and these are not unique to Singapore. So I hope that my story can help to raise awareness about the issue, not just in Singapore, but around the region as well.
Congratulations, CNA. Now to the most coveted categories of Asiavision Annual Awards. First, Outstanding Reporting on a News Story, awarded for a single story that shows excellence in journalism and writing. It was a tough lineup for the jury this year because there was a huge increase in the quality of the entries. This award sets benchmark that we hope all stories shared on Asiavision can reach. The nominees for Outstanding Reporting of a News Story are
Outstanding Reporting of a News Story. Refugee Curated Modeling Agency inspired by Black Lives Matter, TVB, Hong Kong. Tsunami Baby sits for his O-level exams, SLRC, Sri Lanka. Light Pollution Debate, TDM, Macau. Veteran Rescue Dog Retires, KBS, Korea. Task Force saves volunteer who had a miscarriage during SNR operation, VTV, Vietnam.
From that very diverse list, the jury picked TVB Hong Kong's news story, Refugee Curated Modeling Agency, inspired by Black Lives Matter, as the 2021 winner of Outstanding Reporting of a News Story.
So we're deeply honored and grateful to have our feature story recognized as the outstanding reporting of a news story. This award is testimony to the great potential and talents that our refugees and ethnic minorities have to offer, but are still untapped by the community and the world at large. Thank you again for Asiavision for this award. We will continue producing stories that are inspiring and empowering to the voices that are yet to be heard in our society.
Congratulations, TVB. Now to one of the most competitive categories, which recognizes continuing coverage and follow-up of a headline-making news event. Outstanding coverage of a news event. This category attracted the most number of entries and highlights the importance Asiavision members place on continuing coverage. The nominees are
Outstanding Coverage of a News Event. Coverage of court case and sentencing of former Prime Minister Najib Razak, RTM, Malaysia. Coverage of the new security law and resulting shutdown of the Apple Daily, TVB, Hong Kong. Coverage of Chunky Five's mission to the moon, CCTV, China. Coverage of the Iranian presidential elections, IRIB, Iran. Coverage of the reassignment of Hagia Sophia as a mosque, TRT, Turkey. Coverage of the ASEAN Leaders Summit on the Myanmar military coup, TVRI, Indonesia. Coverage of the 10th anniversary of the March 11th earthquake and nuclear catastrophe, NHK, Japan. Coverage of the failed hit-and-run case against Red Bull Sion, MCOT, Thailand.
This nominee most impressed the jury to win outstanding coverage of a news event. CCTV China for their coverage of Chang'e 5's mission to the moon.
What a good news. I'm very excited. I think this is the best reward for our hard work last year. And the CCTV will continue offering more good news to Asiavision.
Thank you. Thank you, ABU. Thank you, Asiavision. And also thank you to all member stations. Thank you for your recognition of our work. I think it is a greatest encouragement to us. You give us nice gift every year, and in return, we will give you better work in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, the most competitive category of Asiavision Annual Awards, Outstanding Coverage of Breaking News. The contenders for this award show the best of Asiavision and the importance to members of immediate coverage of breaking news. These stories are truly remarkable, and we are so grateful to the members, whether they are nominees or not, for their valued contributions and the efforts they put in to sharing these stories with Asiavision members and broadcasters around the world through our sister union. Here are the excellent nominations for outstanding coverage of breaking news.
Outstanding coverage of breaking news. Coverage of Shandong gold mine blast search and rescue efforts, CCTV, China. Coverage of the resignation of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, NHK, Japan. Coverage of anti-government protests in Bangkok, Bangkok, Thailand. Coverage of the oil tanker fire off the coast of Sri Lanka, SLRC, Sri Lanka. Coverage of the sinking of Nanggala submarine, TVRI, Indonesia. Coverage of the massive flooding across 19 provinces in central Cambodia, PNN, Cambodia. Coverage of landslides at Rao Tan Hydropower Company, VTV, Vietnam. Coverage of the Izmir earthquake, TRT, Turkey.
For continual breaking news coverage over several weeks, NHK Japan is the winner of outstanding coverage of breaking news for their many news stories on the resignation of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
Lia-chan, congrats!
Thank you.
Oh, really, thank you very much for awarding us. It's really pleasure for us. Mr. Chiba?
Yes, on that day I was off, but so I was in the sports club to the exercise. But I listened to the radio, the breaking news. I stopped the exercise and I canceled dinner with my wife, and I came to the office to cover this news. So I'm very glad. I'm very happy about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lia-chan, anything from you?
Oh,
She was in charge of on
honor for us.
on the day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The final award, Coverage of the Year, recognizes excellence over the entire year, 12 months, when the COVID-19 pandemic challenged Asiavision newsrooms like never before. Many had to find ways to bring stories to their viewers from home. Sometimes the entire newsrooms were closed except for a few technical staff. Despite these immense constraints, Asiavision members shared 17,000 news stories, many of the exceptional quality celebrated by these awards. One broadcaster stood out for its pandemic coverage. Their coverage not only included pandemic prevention and daily updates, but also included a vast array of economic, social, technological, and human interest stories that showed a wholesome picture of how individuals, businesses, small communities, and the country as a whole battled the pandemic. It is an honor to give the Coverage of the Year award for 2021 to VTV Vietnam for its all-round coverage of COVID-19 pandemic.
We are pleased, honored, and humbled to accept the award. A very special thanks to Asiavision for selecting VTV among this year's nominees, who have also contributed greatly to the network despite difficulties in news production brought by COVID-19. The pandemic has created several challenges for us as well, but this award is a tremendous encouragement for us to proudly continue our hard work as an active AVN member. Once again, thank you very much.
So there you have 8 impressive awards from an astounding number of entries that showcase the best of Asiavision. Congratulations to all the winners and nominees. Thank you for your commitment to share great stories and footage with fellow members. Our thanks also to all Asiavision members for contributing thousands of news stories during the unforeseen challenges of the pandemic. The 2022 awards have started already, and we hope for even more entries as we focus on face-to-face meetings, hopefully in New Delhi in October 2022. for Asiavision's Global News Forum, news group meetings, and annual awards. On behalf of Asiavision and ABU's News Department, we thank you for joining this special online award function that showcased the best of Asiavision. Thank you for joining. Have a pleasant day.